Hi students, welcome back to our civics portions. Last day we had discussed on what is constitution and the situations that happened in South Africa before their independence, apartheid law, separation of people as white and blacks, and they become independent after a long years of struggle or fought against the white people. They become independent and they framed their own constitution to their existence. And now, today's session, we have to discuss on the topic, why do we need a constitution? We know that the meaning of the term constitution. Constitution is a written document, the laws, the rules and regulations which we should follow when we are living in a particular country. Then what is the need of constitution? When we think about this topic, we know that South African example is a good way to understand why we need a constitution. South Africa, we observed that there were two groups of people, whites and blacks. Whites, they were the minorities, they dominated the society or the country, and the blacks, they were the majority, they had no right at all. But after independence, we can see that those people start to live together. But there are some questions arise in between them. That means the majority will dominate the minority group white, or vice versa. The white want to preserve their privilege and properties, and the blacks wants equal respect and preserves their dignity. Here a fundamental question comes. Whose ideas has to be accepted? The blacks ideology or the white ideology? After thorough discussions and negotiations, finally the white agreed to the principle of the majority, that is, one person, one value, one respect, has came into existence. So now, after a long or a continuous negotiations, it was not an easy process. We know that they need to discuss on the same matter for a long period of time, and they came to a consensus, they agreed the concepts, and it was not easy. We know that it took many days, many months for them to understand the basic differences of ideologies, and then they came to the conclusions. And later, the white people, who are the whites? British people. The whites they were the dominance of studies, and they were ready to accept the rules prepared by the blacks, the majority in South Africa. But the black, they do not go on the authoritarian lines. They want whites also join with them equally. So they brought the ideology of one person, one value, one vote. With this, we got a new setup to came in. Afterwards, a fundamental doubts come here. What about the blacks? The majority group, if they attack the minority? Or what should we do? Whom should we ask? Whom will be there to help? Yes, these are the various questions or problems to direct. What was the ideology of the black people? That was one person. They have one value, even black or white, and that person, even white or black, they have one vote. Okay, so that was the ideology of the black people in South Africa. South African people decided that even white or black, we should live together in our country, and we should have to follow one rule, one law. But in between there exist some doubts arise in their mind. That means, is there any chance to dominate the majority over the minority, or is there any chance to ill-treat the minority over the majority? To solve these problems, they decided to set a certain laws, and these laws they start to written law. They start to use the written laws, and these laws, we can see that these laws are above than everyone, than the government, and everyone should follow these written laws, these rules, these regulations, and that document we can call it as Constitution. So what do you mean by Constitution? A Constitution is the supreme law. Above this law nothing is there. Supreme law that determines the relationship among the people living in a territory. And the people who are living in a territory, we know that, who are known as citizens. All people, all citizens living together, and they are below the rules and regulations of the country, and it is also the relationship between the people and the government. Certain laws under the Constitution or this document which shows or says that these government, the relation between the government and the people, such laws, such document, we can call it as Constitution. Again, what is the need of Constitution? In the previous example, we noticed that the black and white, there are some doubts arise in their mind. Is there any chance the blacks majority dominated on white, or the whites ill-treated or discriminates the blacks? To create a trust among themselves, they need a written law or Constitution. So when we think about why do we need a Constitution, we know that the people, to create trust, that is the first need of Constitution. They needed trust. If the trust creates through this written laws, that is better. So that is the first and foremost need of Constitution. It generates the degree of trust and coordination. All the people, even 1 billion or 3 billion or cause, whatever it is, the people who are living together, and they should be coordinate each other by this law. That is another need of Constitution. Then we can see that the second one is, it specifies, this Constitution specifies how the government will be constituted, who will have power to take which decisions. In a democratic country, people elect their leaders to rule over the country, and that was known as government. These government take the decisions over the country, but all these decisions taken by the government, that is according to the Constitution. There are some laws written on this bylaws, these documents, and whatever it is, this government should follow. Before taking the decision, they should follow this Constitution. That is the second need of the limits on the powers of the government. There is certain limit of the power. The government feels that, yeah, we are ruled over the country. No, they can't take any decisions. All the decision taken by the, no. According to the need and interest of the people, the government should take the decision. And when they are taking the decision, they should follow the Constitution. They should know certain limitations is there. Within that limited limitations, they can take their own decisions to rule over the country. Then we can see that it expresses aspirations of the people, interest of the people, need of the people about creating a good society. The written laws, or another word, Constitution, they provide laws which creates or which safeguards the interest of the people, or it helps to create a good society in the country. So these are the various needs of the constitution. Then we can see that in all the institutions, all the organizations, there are certain rules and regulations. In our school, certain rules and regulations are there. Students and teachers, we should follow those rules and regulations. Likewise, in all each organizations, interest groups or social groups or whatever it is, or political parties, they have their own ideology, they have their own written laws or their own constitution. Likewise, in all the democratic country, there is a constitution. But we cannot say that, or if a country has a constitution, it is a democratic country. No. But all the democratic country, it has a constitution. So, this is an important topic. Why do we need a constitution? To create trust, to coordinate each other, to limit the powers of the government decisions, to create or to protect the interests or needs of the people, we need a constitution. Hope you understood these portions. Thank you.